Logan Mize is on the right-hand side with green-white tokens. Noah Walker is going to be opposing him on Grixis control. And we can see here both players are ranked on our leaderboard. Logan is 17th, Noah is 27th. So in addition to playing for the prestige and the pride of beating each other when you see each other all the time on the Open during the SCG Tour, the points they can get from this event could catapult them into that top 16 and start giving them some buys.
Yeah, it's also always nice just when you show up to an event, kind of look around the room at, who are the other notable great players at the tournament, and then, get paired against them and then beat them. That's...
So Logan's going to start out fairly quickly with a Forest in the Plains and a Hangerback Walker for 1. Noah's going to have, looks like Sunken Hollow and a Foreboding Ruins, revealing a Swamp, playing a Jace for Inns Prodigy. So both players have some early card advantage going here. It's going to be interesting to see who can take advantage of it better.
Yeah, and generally speaking, I would say the turn 2 Jace is just cannot be understated. The green-white tokens deck doesn't have that many removal spells, so a turn 2 Jace is likely to go uncontested, and it's just going to generate a lot of value. One of the most threatening things that this Grixis deck can do is play that turn 2 Jace.
Well, Logan does have another copy of Hangerback Walker, leaving up an untapped Forest to pump the first Hangerback Walker that he played. Noah has a Swamp and a Read the Bones. We're in the middle of the Scry here, so he's going to lose 2, go down to 18. He has to decide where he wants to put those 2 cards from the Scry, and then he's going to draw 2. He's just going to keep them. They were good enough.
So it's nice that Logan has these Hangerback Walkers because they're hard to deal with, but they also don't apply that much pressure. And so, and that is kind of symptomatic of a lot of how this green-white tokens deck plays against Grixis control. Is it's not going to, it's usually not going to have a really aggressive draw with like turn 2 Sylvan Advocate and then turn 3 add some more power and toughness on the board and keep attacking. It's going to be a slower grind where they're just applying a bunch of hard to deal with things.
Ooh, well, Logan's going to have a Nissa, Voice of Zendikar on turn 3. Or on turn 4. He doesn't have a 4th land, but he's going to be able to -2, put some counters on those Hangerback Walkers, and start getting aggressive.
Yeah, and that was a pretty big play. I mean, just like how I was saying, usually Logan won't have fast pressure. This is a situation where he kind of does. Like, I mean, 5 damage is no big deal, and Noah can't really cleanly answer any of these permanents. I mean, if he uses a removal spell on the Nissa, the +1/+1 counters are still going to be on the table. He can't really sweep away with Radiant Flames because then there's going to be a bunch of tokens. So Noah's kind of in a tough spot.
Well, Noah's going to loot with his Jace on his opponent's end step, discard what appears to be a Shivan Reef. We're kind of cut off there at the bottom. He's just going to deploy a mountain and pass the turn back. This could be a pretty big turn for Logan if he's able to find a 4th land to play something like Gideon. At the very least, he can just get in some more damage with his attacks, make a plant with Nissa, and threaten a real big turn next turn, since it appears that he has a Secure the Waste in his hand.
Yeah, and I'm a little curious as to see what Noah's going to do this turn. Using his mana efficiently is going to be really important because he is behind, and Logan's certainly going to be, a little wary of some removal spells inside of combat.
So Logan's going to plus Nissa, make an 0/1, and attack with these Hangerback Walkers.
And Kolaghan's command is quite good.
So we've got a Kolaghan's command. I think he's going to destroy an artifact and make Logan discard a card.
So Logan missed a land drop, so this is particularly good because Noah knows that Logan's hand is all gas. If Noah had a Radiant Flames in hand, though, I would assume that Noah would have just... oh, he actually did 2 damage to kill Nissa.
2 damage to
That's
Nissa.
a much better use of it. The way that he gestured with his card almost made it look like a discard, but it was 2 damage redirect to the Planeswalker.
Yeah. Technically, you do have to target the opponent and then redirect to the Planeswalker.
Yep.
It's not incorrect to target the to say deal 2 damage to Nissa, as you're offering a shortcut to target the player and redirect, but
it was good that Logan
play.
Picked up a 4th land. He had missed his land drop on the previous turn, and this green-white tokens deck is a very mana-hungry deck. I mean, it has a lot of big plays like Avacyn and Secure the Waste. Hangerback Walker is nice when you have a lot of mana. So that was a pretty good top deck for Logan. He would have liked to have had an additional play that turn, though, other than just a land.
I agree. Although he does have a secure the waste, so it's looking like he might just try and secure for 2 on Noah's end step. Wow. This Fire Impulse is going to take care of that Hangerback Walker. It's going to give Logan 2 more tokens, but this board is ripe for a sweeper. Not only can he take care of all of Logan's creatures if he has something like Radiant Flames, but he can flip his Jace and keep that out of the fray.
Yeah, that would be a huge play. Unfortunately, Noah only has 2 in the deck, but I'm sure he's going to dig for 1 if he can. He has cast Read the Bones and used Jace quite a few times, so he has had the opportunity to see more cards out of his deck than the average Grixis player by turn 5.
He's looting with Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Once he discards a card here, that Jace will transform into Telepath Unbound.
And Logan actually has a pretty threatening board. That 4th land means that a potential Gideon could hit the board. Gideon Emblem would be real nice here.
Yeah. Well, since Logan has that Secure the Waste in his hand, even if Noah happens to find a sweeper here, Logan could just secure for 2 and then untap into another Nissa or a Gideon, and then have a sizable board, after going from nothing.
Wow, and he has the Radiant Flames. That is huge.
There is the Radiant Flames. Now,
jeez.
Let's see, does Logan have a Dramoka's Command here to stop the damage that it would deal?
Yeah, I think if
not.
Logan had a Dramoka's Command, that Jace wouldn't be alive.
All right, Jace is going to get plussed.
Which
Another
I assume
Jace will be played.
Is a read that Noah made.
Oh, he's not going to secure on the end step.
So from this position, I would put Noah securely in the driver's seat. This is going to be tough. Logan, can deploy some tokens, and those are hard to deal with. But if he's not able to pressure that Jace properly, Noah's going to be able to flash back Radiant Flames and deal with them. So,
well, not only flash back Radiant Flames, but he can just flash back the Read the Bones to try and get some more cards. He can even use Kolaghan's Command to take care of some troublesome creatures. This is a game that started out with Hangerback Walker on 2, Hangerback Walker on 3, Nissa pumping them, looking very good for Logan, and Noah navigated it perfectly. He's even still at a healthy life total of 11.
Well, I would say Noah navigated it well, but I think the defining part where Logan's draw kind of fell apart was on turn 4, all he had was a land, and he had nothing else. He did have a pretty good start, but if you have a good start but don't do anything on turn 5, that's not so good.
Well, Logan did pick up a 5th land here. He's going to pass the turn back. It looks like he has an Avacyn in his hand. Noah is going to tap out for a Goblin Dark Dwellers and recast Read the Bones. This is going to bring him down to 9. He's going to top bottom, draw 2 cards. Got a land, plus on the Jace, and then just a pass.
I would expect Logan to... I think I would play the Avacyn if I was in his position, but if he has a way to pump the tokens, then I think Secure the Waste is the better play. The other thing he can do is just play the Secure the Waste and then bait Noah into flashing back Radiant Flames and then flash in the Avacyn to protect them. But I think Noah is likely to see that play coming from a mile away. If Logan just passes with 5 mana, Noah knows that Logan missed some land drops, and if Logan's passing with 5 mana, it's for a pretty clear reason.
Yeah. So he is going to go ahead and secure for 4. It looks like he might have a Gideon in his hand, so he could just Emblem here and get in some damage. That might not be bad, especially since you can leave the Avacyn in the wings.
Yeah, if he emblems and attacks with everything, he could either force Noah to trade or chump block, or at least push 6 damage, which could put Noah in a bad spot because he'll be at 3, and if Logan can ever flip his Avacyn, it'll do the final 3 damage. But Logan kind of needs something to happen here.
He is going to go ahead and take his time, see if we can figure out what the best course of action is here. Pretty complicated board state. Noah has a lot of value going on, but he is at 9.
The Gideon Emblem is so good in this matchup because not only does it make all of your tokens a lot better, but also means that your Avacyns don't die to Grasp in Darkness, which is very, very relevant. the way that Logan has played this is he's deployed the harder to deal with threat. I think because Noah's tapped out, I kind of would have cashed in the Avacyn for some damage, but we'll see how he structures this, and he might be able to push through lethal damage anyway.
So he is going to go ahead and rep that Avacyn, see if he can walk Noah into flashing back Radiant Flames. I have a feeling that's not going to happen, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. It depends on what other plays Noah has available. If there's just nothing else for Noah to do, he might just hope that Logan has another Secure the Waste and, you know, just can't play around Avacyn. But
Noah's going to play a copy of Kalitas. He's going to plus Jace on one of these soldiers and attack with
and this attack
Dark Dwellers.
Clearly says I have either Ultimate Price or Grasp in Darkness. You know,
yeah,
like the pre-combat Kalitas and then attack with Goblin Dark Dwellers. It's like that can only be one thing.
Yeah.
So now Logan is in a pretty tough spot. The way that he sequenced his threats, he just might not really be able to push much more damage.
Yeah, I feel like with the way everything was sequenced here, Noah is able to line up all of his removal very effectively against Logan's game plan.
Yeah. And this is one of the tricky things about the matchup is Logan's threats are hard to deal with, but Noah does have the answers for them, and you kind of need them to line up a certain way. So, like, you know, cashing in the Avacyn while Noah was tapped out could be advantageous. Logan chose to do it differently, and I can't really fault him too much because Secure the Waste is a hard card for the Grixis deck to deal with.
Yeah. Well, Grasp of Darkness is going to take care of that Archangel Avacyn. It will be exiled. Noah's going to get a 2/2 zombie token. Here we have a 4/5 Sylvan Advocate, but all of these threats are just so vulnerable to the bevy of removal that Noah has. And with the Jace on 8 and another Jace just waiting to be transformed, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Gideon, ally of Zendikar, is going to hit the battlefield. Let's see if he makes a 2/2 or just cashes it in for an emblem.
I really like cashing it in for an emblem. If Logan just passes, it's so likely that Noah flashes back Radiant Flames, and then he can just use his Goblin Dark Dwellers to attack the Gideon down to nothing. So I think Logan's best bet is just to use an emblem.
Oh,
But it looks like
he
it looks like he just wants to force the Radiant Flames.
Well, looks like a Radiant Flames is what's going to happen.
Yeah. For those of you at home playing this green-white tokens deck, one piece of advice I have for you is if you're ever unsure of what to do with your Gideon, or you think that there's any chance it could just die, just make an emblem. It makes all of your top decks better.
So it looks like he gave Radiant Flames the flashback ability.
Mm-hmm. And if I was Logan, I would assume, because of Noah's previous attack, that Noah has either a Grasp in Darkness or Ultimate Price. So there's a good chance. Okay, so he flipped his other Jace and then flashed back Kolaghan's Command?
Yep. Well, no, it looked like it was a black removal spell.
Okay.
And that's going to allow him to kill the Gideon and get in for 3 with the Kalitas. Firmly in control of this board, and Logan is going to say, all right, you know, you got it.
And that is GG.
Let's go to the sideboarded game. So Noah Walker is going to take game 1 here on Grixis Control over Logan Mize on green-white tokens. Let's go ahead and take a look at the player's sideboard here while they sideboard so we can see if we can figure out what their plan's going to be. Noah has 3 copies of Duress, 2 Negate, an Obnixilis Reignited, 1 Dark Petition, 1 Infinite Obliteration, a Read the Bones, a Languish, a Radiant Flames, 1 Pian Kiran Nalar, a Dragon Master Outcast, a Dragon Lord Silumgar, and 1 Silumgar's Command. How do we think he's going to sideboard here?
So Noah has a lot of good options. One notable card that he doesn't have is Virulent Plague, which can be very good in this matchup. But I think that Noah is likely to bring in the Duresses. Duress is just the best way to deal with a card like Avacyn or Gideon or Secure the Waste. He could bring in Obnixilis just to have more card advantage, but I don't think it's really necessary. The sweepers can come in, like Languish and Radiant Flames. Although I noticed when I was playing this deck online, I'm not sure if everyone does this, but I actually didn't bring in as many sweepers. I just wanted to have some good threats and just answer the Planeswalkers and the big creatures and kind of ignore the small fodder. Pionkier Nalar is a card that I think he'll bring in. It's good at attacking Planeswalkers. Dragon Master Outcast, uncontested, can do a lot of work. So that's another card he could bring in. Dragon Lord Silumgar, great at fighting the Planeswalkers, as is Silumgar's Command. So I think Noah's got a lot of cards to bring in for this matchup. And I think basically all the ones I named he'll bring.
On Logan's side, we have 2 Den Protector, 2 Evolutionary Leap, a Silk Wrap, 2 Clip Wings, a Hallowed Moonlight, a Linvala the Preserver, 2 copies of Angelic Purge, 2 Declaration in Stone, and 2 Tragic Arrogance. How do you think Logan's going to sideboard?
So I think the cards Logan is going to bring in are Den Protector and Evolutionary Leap. Evolutionary Leap in particular is really hard for Noah to deal with. Really the only way he can deal with it is a Duress or bouncing with the Silumgar's Command. So Logan, if he can get Evolutionary Leap going, that's a way that he can just grind out the Grixis opponent. So Den Protector, Evolutionary Leap in for sure. I assume that he's going to bring in Angelic Purge and Declaration in Stone. I like Angelic Purge quite a bit. It's just a clean answer to anything, and you exile it, so it's never going to come back with Kolaghan's Command. And you can also hit Virulent Plague if they have it, which, no, it doesn't, but it's nice to have it as an option. I think that'll bring in the Declaration in Stone also, just because he needs a critical amount of interaction. And Dramoka's Command is a little sketchy in the matchup because there's so much removal. You don't want to fight something and have him ultimate price your creature in response. So I think he'll bring in the Declaration in Stones, but I'm a little worried about them because they do give your opponent a free card. And Logan's deck isn't so blisteringly fast like the White Weenie decks, where Noah isn't going to have time to crack his clue. So that Declaration in Stone, it might just be what you need to kill a Dragon Lord Silumgar, but Logan is going to be 2-for-1ing himself when he casts it, so it's a kind of a treacherous proposition, but I assume since it's in his sideboard, he'll bring it.
Now, as we mentioned before, both of these players are SCG Tour stalwarts. They play in a lot of events. They have a lot of top 8s. They both won some tournaments. And the one thing that neither of them have yet is an invitational win.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know who does have an invitational win? Max McVitie. He won our Season 1 Invitational and has his own clue token.
Yeah.
Now he is a mechanical engineer, so it looks like he's, looking at some pipes, trying to plan something out. But he's got this weird little creature on his shoulder.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy actually. It's kind of bugging me out.
Now I've heard that we need to come up with a name for this. So hopefully Twitter can help us out.
It reminds me of the Pixar lamp.
It does.
That like hops around.
Call him Lampy.
Lampy.
We got Lampy here on Max's shoulder.
We definitely need Twitter to help us out. Tweet at me and Chris. Let us know what you think the name should be.
I've also heard a lot of people have suggested Watson.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's also pretty good. But you can get these at any of our opens, any of our classics, and from all orders from StarCityGames.com beginning May 13th, which has already happened, at noon Eastern Standard Time. $5 minimum order, but you do get one of these for free just from playing in a classic and an open and from ordering from StarCityGames.com.
And we all know 15 years from now, these things are going to be selling on eBay for like millions.
I got a stash of my elementals.
I've been to the future. I know what it's like.
Been to the future.
Yeah.
So again, Max McVitie, congratulations, our Season 1 Invitational. Not only did he get this awesome token, but he also punched his ticket for the Players' Championship at the end of the year in Roanoke. So let's go ahead and hop back to our matches. Our players are just now finishing up their shuffling. Noah Walker is currently up a game with Grixis control over Logan Mize, who is on green-white tokens. Both of these players are very good Magic players. Logan is from the Florida area. Noah is a Northeast player up in the New York area. So they don't get to clash very often at local events, but they do travel to a lot of these opens and play each other very frequently.
Yeah, these players certainly are pretty familiar with each other and are probably even familiar with each other's play styles also. So I'm sure that there's some small mind games going on between these two.
Well, Noah is like always a Grixis / Jeskai type player, I've noticed.
In every format.
Logan is like pretty solidly Celestia, Abzan, Golgari, like those different color combinations.
Yep.
That's what I imagine to see Logan on. It wasn't always that, though. He was a big proponent of mono blue devotion during that time, I remember.
Well, he's definitely someone that likes to beat down, and he likes doing it in mildly unfair ways. I think the green devotion with Master of Waves was like a little unfair, and he had also played the Bant hexproof deck before, and then the heroic deck. So,
let's see if we can learn a little more about Logan Mize while our players are mulliganing here. He is part of Team Next Ridge Games, which is based out of Florida. He's 26 from Orlando. He has 7 Open Series top 8s. No Open wins yet, but 2 Invitational top 8s. He is a golf, bowling, and baseball feed his competitive drive outside of Magic. He has a near encyclopedic knowledge of his favorite animal, the penguin. That's a little weird.
It's kind of cool, too,
and he's a psychology student at the University of South Florida. That's pretty sweet. But near encyclopedic? That is quite a claim.
I wonder if that just means he, memorized the section of the encyclopedia that's on penguins.
Maybe. He is going to go ahead and mulligan, keep his 6, going to scry to the top. Next time I run into Logan face-to-face, I'm going to ask him what the average land speed is of an emperor penguin.
Imagine we just asked him something about penguins, and he's just like, I don't know.
We're going to have a fast start here. He has a Canopy Vista and a plane. He's going to deploy that Sylvan Advocate. No Walker just has a couple lands here, Sunken Hollow and a Swamp. Doesn't have a removal spell to use on this Sylvan Advocate yet, but he might just be waiting for Logan's end step.
I don't think he's just waiting for the end step, because I don't think there's anything Logan's going to play other than another Sylvan Advocate that would really be targeted by instant speed removal. I think probably the most likely thing is Noah's just going to cast a Read the Bones here, which is going to give Logan an opportunity to be a little ahead in this game. Fortunately, though, the fact that Logan doesn't have a turn 3 play is bodes kind of poorly for him. It's nice that his Sylvan Advocate is stuck, but he'd really like to curve out.
Yeah, it makes it much easier for Noah to try and play something like Read the Bones on 3. He is just going to use a Ruinous Path, take care of that Sylvan Advocate. And this is a really big turn for Logan. If he has an untapped land, it's something like Gideon Ally of Zendikar.
Nice.
This is going to be a premium threat that he can dispatch to the board, and it's not going to be very easy for Noah to take care of it.
Yeah, and Gideon really is one of the premium threats of the format. There's almost nothing you can do better than it on turn 4. And if you're against a control deck, Gideon just gives them fits because it's just so hard to deal with. I mean, even here, Noah has the perfect response, and Logan still gets a 2/2 out of the deal. And against slower decks, Gideon's 4 mana but attacks for 7. It's a big deal.
Now, it's important to note that Ruinous Path was used to take care of both the Sylvan Advocate and the Gideon. So Noah only has 1 more Ruinous Path left in his deck. He does have some Goblin Dark Dwellers to be able to replay them, but Logan's deck is just jam-packed with Planeswalkers. Lots of juicy targets for those Ruinous Paths, and now he's just exhausting them out of Noah's hand. He doesn't, however, have a turn 5 play outside of playing a tapped land. So Noah has a chance to catch back up here. Read the Bones is going to put him on that path, but he definitely has to hope that he can find something good.
Yeah, for Logan's sake, I really hope he has a Secure the Wastes to follow this up with. I mean, if I were him, I would certainly keep Sylvan Advocate, Gideon, 5 lands as my opening hand, but hopefully he's got, more action than what we've seen. Looks like he doesn't, though.
Looks like Noah went top-bottom with his Scry, just going to draw 2 and pass. After falling down to 14, Logan doesn't have anything on his end step. He's just going to untap going into his turn 6. That Knight token is going to get in for 2, dropping Noah down to 12. Let's see if Logan has some more threats to dispatch onto the board.
And notably, last turn he played his second green source. So if he did have a Nissa, he wouldn't have been able to previously cast it. One of the things unique about this green-white tokens deck is the mana is actually kind of bad for a 2-color deck because you have 3 Westvale Abbeys and you're trying to play
double white, double green.
Yeah, but Oath of Nissa does a long way to fix that. Unfortunately, Logan didn't have access to one this game.
Well, he did have another Gideon that brought with it another 2/2 Knight Ally token, but Noah Walker's just going to untap and very quickly play Goblin Dark Dwellers, taking a point of damage off his Shivan Reef, going to fall down to 11. He's going to replay that Ruinous Path and kill Logan's Gideon. And now we just have this 4-4 wall that we talked about last round with Jack Kiefer.
Yep.
It's just, you know, a 4-4 wall that has a removal spell attached to it. It's perfect when you're fighting these mid-game attrition battles against these mid-range decks.
Yeah, and Goblin Dark Dwellers is also a great way to attack Planeswalkers. So, you know, it's a lot more than just a wall in this matchup. But Logan's in kind of a tough spot. He definitely needs an answer for the Dark Dwellers. Otherwise, he's just going to end up losing all of his creatures to it. And, you know, even this is like a little... All right, so he does have the removal spell.
Yeah, so Anissa is going to come down. It's going to -2, pumping his creatures up to 3/3s. Declaration in Stone is going to take care of that Dark Dwellers. We're going to see a Max McVady Clue token enter the battlefield for Noah, but he is going to take 6 damage and fall down to 5 life facing lethal.
Yeah, I have to imagine that Noah's going to be able to answer this board. Hopefully he can do it with a sweeper. If he has to use 2 removal spells on each one of these knights, that means both Gideons were straight 2-for-1s. Along with getting in some damage. So we'll see what Noah does here.
So here's 5 mana. We might just see Dark Petition into Languish here. Dark Petition with Spell Mastery. It's going to give him 3 black mana floating. So he is going to cast the Languish. That's going to take care of both of the Knight tokens.
And a minor note, Noah didn't have to show that he got Languish off the Dark Petition. He could have just put it in his hand, shuffle it around, and then play it to keep Logan in the dark. But there's not a whole lot to be gained, so he prefers to just sort of, you know, keep things a little faster and not worry about shuffling his hand around.
Logan's going to go ahead and make a plant token with his Nissa. He's got another land. Ooh, and a hanger back for 3.
It's pretty good.
So this is going to be threatening lethal next turn if Noah doesn't have some kind of blocker or some removal spells to dispatch.
And even if Noah has something like another Dark Dwellers, Logan may still just minus his Nissa and attack with the hanger back just to get the trade and get the tokens. Ooh.
Dragon Master Outcast. All right, so we got a plan.
Yep, got a plan.
We've got the 6 lands. We just got to live through this turn. Culligan's Command. It's going to do 2 damage to the Nissa. And made Logan discard a card.
Which was Stasis Snare, which would have been able to take care of the Dragon Master Outcast.
And now here he can even crack that clue on Logan's end step.
Hopefully he's also holding up something like a Grasp in Darkness, because if Logan just drew another like Nissa or Gideon, he'd be able to attack for lethal and force that Dragon Master Outcast to chump block.
There's also a Westvale Abbey that's just going to start working. But I don't think it's going to match up very good against 5/5 Flying Dragons.
Yeah, I've actually seen Dragon Master Outcast create an interesting situation where the green-white player was able to flip Westvale Abbey, and the Grixis player was able to infinitely chump block it with a dragon token every single turn, and then finally, eventually, you know, he gets a Silumgar's Command and bounces the Ormondal.
Wow. Well, Logan's just going to play a Fortified Village and pass after getting in for 3 with his Hangerback Walker. Noah's going to make a 5/5. Dragon. Kalidas is going to come down as a way to gain some life and stabilize the board, and this game has turned from, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose very soon, to, all right, I'm in a good spot for Noah.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't too worried about Noah, despite being at a low life total. I looked at all the cards in his hand. He had hit all of his land drops. Logan seemed to be out of gas, and I was pretty confident Noah would be able to get control, but I didn't think he'd do it in such cool fashion as a Dragon Master Outcast.
Yeah. Man, it's pretty interesting that Culligan's Command caught that Stasis Snare in Logan's hand. Had Logan just like not played a land at one point to protect the Stasis Snare against the Culligan's Command, this game would be much different with that Dragon Master Outcast gone.
Yeah, the turn that he played the Hangerback Walker, though, he played a land and tapped out. So if you wanted to hold back a land, it would have meant that Hangerback Walker would have been one size smaller. So Duress here is pretty interesting.
Well, we're going to make a lot of tokens with Secure the Waste. like he's going to make 5. And leave 1 mana up. Nope, just going to make 6.
Nice. So, and Noah had an ultimate price in hand also. So I think Noah is looking at this as a situation to get aggressive. A lot of times the timing of a duress says a lot about where a player's head is at in the game. And I think Noah's kind of looking to get a move on these dragons.
Well, he has a negate for that Secure the Waste, which is going to be a pretty big blowout. Now we're going to see Dragon and a 3/4 Kalitas get in the red zone.
Yep.
Now that Logan doesn't have a land to pump up that Hangerback Walker, he can make this attack pretty safely. Logan is going to chump the Kalitas with an 0/1 plant token. Noah's going to go up to 5 after gaining 3 life. Going to drop Logan down to 14, dealing 5 damage with that dragon. And this looks like a real rough spot for Logan Mize.
Yeah. And the negate was kind of a blowout there. The Grixis decks usually don't play like very many of them. Like sometimes they'll have 2 on the sideboard, and they are a good card against green-white tokens, and you would expect them to come in. But the Grixis deck, it doesn't have that much card draw. It's not like it has Sphinx's Revelation in it or something where it just seeds, you know, tons of cards. So even if the Grixis deck has 2 negates, you're not going to see them that often.
We've got another duress. It's just going to show a Sylvan Advocate in Logan's hand. Noah does have 3 dragons now from that Dragon Master Outcast. I think he's contemplating just activating this Wandering Fumarole and just attacking with everything.
It's not a bad plan. He could certainly play things a little safer, but he's just in such a dominating position. And with Logan having that Sylvan Advocate in hand, he knows that there's nothing fancy that Logan's going to do on this turn.
Nope, more than likely we're going to see Westphal Abbey activated. Hangerback Walker is going to block something and then pump itself. Interesting.
So I assume, all right, no, it doesn't have a removal spell. That's a little interesting.
So he's going to get in for 10, knock Logan down to 4. He's going to gain 3, go up to 8. Logan's going to lose his Cleric token. He's going to go down to 3 and make another Cleric token.
And we draw a card for the turn and scoop them up.
Yeah, these look like a lot of hungry dragons on the other side.
Yeah. These dragons are angry. And there's the handshake. So Noah Walker takes things down. I think that Logan has, you know, he's not that unfavored in the matchup, but his draws definitely didn't come together the way he wanted them to. And, you know, I think that if he was specifically looking to beat this specific matchup, he would have built his deck a little bit differently. And there's, you know, with all the decks in Standard right now, there's not one best list. You can look at a lot of different players and see them made in a lot of different ways with their individual, you know, pros and cons. So I'm sure Logan will still fare well for the tournament, but not in this particular match.
So it looks like